Ladies and gentlemen, we have seen the interest rates decision, and with that interest rates decision, we've seen a spike in volatility, although it's not really as volatile as it could have been. And this is because the Federal Reserve maintained interest rates. They didn't cut them or raise them. And they also, Jerome Powell in his press conference, basically said they're intending on keeping them at this current level in the next rate cut at this point in time, unless the data suggests to do so otherwise, right? So at the moment, there's not really much going on with the Fed, right? And this has led to some, I guess, complacency in the markets. There's no real need for massive volatility if this is the case. There was a potential for Bitcoin to move very, very quickly based on that interest rate decision if something was said in the press conference or if rates were cut. But that did not occur. So we've seen a relative degree of calmness in the market, not super calm. I mean, we've moved upwards $4,000 since that rate decision occurred. So it's not like we've seen nothing. And this very well could be the start of the next move to the upside. The charts are looking quite good right now. We will discuss all of that today. There still is compression. To my surprise, the compression is not resolved. I'd expect the rates decision to have resolved this compression on the Ethereum chart and also on the total cryptocurrency market cap chart, specifically on the total 3. But this could be resolved over the coming days, as is what occurred last time we had a rates decision. So for example, the last rate decision we had was right here. And you can see over the days that followed, we rejected strongly from a major resistance zone. That happened on the total cryptocurrency market cap. That also happened on the Bitcoin chart. This is the last time we saw a rate decision. Although it wasn't a complete collapse instantly, it did trigger the move that led to that breakdown. So that could be the same scenario here. Perhaps even though it hasn't been a pump instantly off that rate decision, perhaps this move is starting and will flow to the upside. That, of course, is the ideal scenario. We'll discuss the probability of all of that today. We'll discuss also interest rates as a whole. We'll discuss the M2 money stock. We'll discuss S&P 500, total cryptocurrency market cap, Ethereum, everything. Get into all of it. And we'll leave out all the nonsense as well. Only what you need to hear. Should be under 10 minutes today. Quite a long introduction. Apologies for that. Just had a lot to say there at the start. Let's get into the exchanges before we dive into the video. If you're interested in getting on an exchange, perhaps you're on an exchange that's overcharging you, perhaps you're just on a bad exchange with a bad history of getting hacked, BitGet and Bittunix are the ones you want to go for. I handpicked these myself. I reached out to them. They did not reach out to me, okay? They don't pay me anything for this. All I get is a referral link. You can use that referral link down below to sign up and you'll get a 15% trading fee discount attached to your account for life. If you're interested in Bittunix, it is global, non-KYC, never been hacked before. And if you're interested in BitGet, it's available to everyone except for people from the USA, and it's top 5 in trading volume exchange-wide, so market-wide, which means it has very, very few liquidity issues. So check them out down below. Use those links to sign up for those discounts. Appreciate that. Let's get into the content. So macro range for Bitcoin is the same. The macro range on Bitcoin stems backwards from 2 important diagonal levels. One of them here is in orange, which is stemming backwards from 2017 through to 2021 bull market and through to the recent highs. That is the top of the current macro range we're in right now. You can see it right there on the screen. We've tested that 2 separate times. And the bottom level, the support level, is from yellow, which is from 2021 bull market tops and cutting right through the price action right now as a support zone. Overall, this structure is bullish, and we can decipher that just by very simply looking at that yellow line alone. Let's draw it in fresh here with nothing else on the screen and go to the daily chart. And what you see very clearly is Bitcoin having a resistance zone from a price cycle with 2 separate downside retests, and then having this level, which we've now flipped. So we had this level as resistance for the entirety of 2021, 2022, and 2023. We've come upwards here in 2024, and now 2025. We've flipped that level, and ideally we bounce off of it again, like a springboard. That would be the ideal scenario. And of course, that structure as a whole is hence bullish. And so this is why Bitcoin, in my opinion, is in a macro bullish structure. We are macro bullish until the structure breaks down. And so until Bitcoin loses this yellow line and probably a few more things like the bull market support band, for example, we are bullish. That's the simple reality. So if you just wanted a textbook basic analysis and you just wanted to know what happens on long term, all you really need to look at is this yellow line here and maybe a couple levels below it, like the bull market support band, and then forget everything else and just wait for that to be reacted to. If you want a bit more of a nuanced analysis, you have the breakout level here in orange. That means we need to break that level in order to enter the next leg, and the altcoin season would likely really start to kick off at that leg as well, by the way. We've discussed that before. And if we're zooming into the actual short term of this range, so this is just the same chart, but 4-hour chart, you can see the orange line is still there, and you can see the yellow line from 2021 is still there as well. And you bring up the volume profile. which is representing the historical trading volume at specific price levels and hence representing where the support blocks are essentially. What you can see is Bitcoin has had two significant attacks to the upside of the range. One of them was over here at the last rate decision. We saw that rate decision, rates paused, people were expecting a cut. And since rates paused, that meant the money wasn't going to be flowing in as clearly or cleanly as people had previously expected, and therefore we went downwards. We consolidated for a while. We've now seen the second rate decision, and rates have continued to be paused, but it was anticipated this time. It wasn't unexpected like it was last time, and this meant that basically we've seen a regular market reaction. And we've seen that regular market reaction after coming down and flipping the POC, the point of control, hence the most major point of support on the volume profile for support. So we found a very strong support zone from the volume profile. We've come to the upside, we saw the rate decision, and now we are lifting off here. In my personal opinion, this is a bullish structure. In my personal opinion, I see it as quite likely that Bitcoin does attack resistance again. If Bitcoin does come downwards and break below 97.3 thousand, which is the volume profile POC and our most recent low, that is when we start to get our eyebrows raised, and that is when we start to get a little bit concerned about the short-term structure. Until then, Bitcoin is in a good position, and I would expect, more broadly speaking, on medium-term upwards price action. Now, is there a threat of something akin to an ascending wedge formation here forming on the very short term? Yes, there is. But again, I'm talking about the medium term. The very short term to me is entirely irrelevant in this macro range. Ethereum is still in consolidation. So although the Bitcoin is leaning bullish here, as we have mentioned, the macro is in consolidation. So there's no actual macro decision here. We know that it's in a macro upwards trend, but there's no active breakout. We're in consolidation. And the same can be said about Ethereum. Ethereum is in a very big and very simplistic consolidation in comparison to Bitcoin. You know, Bitcoin's in a consolidation zone that stems back from prior cycles. It takes a level of nuance to understand. Ethereum is literally just in a massive triangle, and that triangle is coming to an end very, very shortly, around the 9th of February, which means basically any point over the next few days, I would expect Ethereum to break its consolidation and either break upwards or break downwards very decisively. Obviously, to me personally, I think the upwards break is more likely, but we'll see what happens. You know, if it breaks downwards, cool. That's not ideal, but we'll react to the situation when it occurs. And of course, there's no point really screaming from the hilltop it's going to break upwards when it hasn't done so yet. I'd rather wait for it to move upwards $100 and then actually do it. You know, confirmation is more important here, but is this a bullish structure? Yes, it is a bullish structure. And ideally we break to the upside. That would likely line up with Bitcoin doing the same. Similar situation on the total cryptocurrency market cap. Although there's no immediate consolidation on the broader total cryptocurrency market cap, there is a similar thing to Bitcoin where it's got this level from prior cycle and it's flipped it to the upside. It's bouncing from it, and just like a springboard, we hope that it moves upwards. Now, the altcoin market cap is a bit more interesting. Much like Ethereum, it is in a very tight consolidation range. Stemming backwards from November. And that, much like Ethereum as well, will be coming to an end around the 9th of February, meaning over the next few days, most likely, will either break up or break down. So this market, I get it. I know I said it in these videos over the last few days, that the move's coming soon, FOMC is going to trigger the move. I know I said that over and over again. And, it hasn't necessarily triggered a major short-term move, but I do think I don't think it's been entirely irrelevant. I think what we've seen with FOMC is the start of something that will form into a move. Okay, and that's exactly what we saw last time, right? This is how the market works. You don't really just see the price jump $10,000 in one day based on one event. No, you see the event occur, and that puts something in motion, and that develops over the course of weeks. And I think that's what's happened here. So although these charts are still in consolidation, Ethereum still consolidating, Total 3 still consolidating, Bitcoin still consolidating, I really, really strongly do think we are coming towards the end of these consolidations now, and I think the move is in motion. I would be surprised if it was not. Now, to people who say things like, where is the money going to come from for Bitcoin to move upwards? First of all, it's just kind of a stupid thing to say, in my opinion. I don't mean to insult anyone, but it is. It just doesn't really make sense. Bitcoin is in a 4-year cycle. It's been in the same cycle since 2012. Every single cycle, every single time people have said, where is the money going to come from? We don't know where the money's going to come from, but the fact of the matter is the money has come every single time. That's why I say over and over again, the trend is your friend until it ends. If you have been the person every single cycle who's pointed to certain events, pointed to certain economic, situations and been like, oh, where's the money going to come from for it to go upwards? You have been wrong 100% of the time since 2012 because the cycle is still intact, okay? So we don't know where the money's going to come from, but it's come every single time, and betting against it coming has historically had a 100% loss rate. But I think I can just answer the question. The money's going to come because we're entering quantitative easing. The rates are going downwards. Yes, they've paused them for now. Rates are still dropping this year, though. And rates are actively dropping right now. We've had 2 cuts already. The M2 money supply is actively rising. It's about to reach all-time highs. So the money is coming, whether you like it or not. And it doesn't necessarily even need to come from anywhere. I mean, in prior cycles, for example, in 2021, rates were just low to begin with, which, I guess that makes sense. But in 2018 or 2017, rates were actively rising and we weren't seeing massive increases to the money supply, and yet the market still went upwards massively, right? The argument, where is the money going to come from for the market to move upwards, assumes that the money's not there, which doesn't make sense because we're already at all-time highs at 100K, and 6 weeks ago you would have been in euphoria at this price region. So it's just not a good argument. Trust the charts first and foremost is what I will say. So guys, I do believe that a move is likely in motion here. And I will stop believing that if Bitcoin breaks 97,000 to the downside, in which case we will see a short-term bearish flip, and then we can start getting a little bit concerned. But until that happens, this is looking quite good in my opinion. Are we in an active breakout? No, we're still in consolidation on many, many charts outside of Bitcoin. And so there's no reason to actively be diving into huge long positions here. But certainly it's cautious optimism. So check out the exchanges Bitfinex and BitGet. Bitfinex being global non-KYC. You can sign up from anywhere in the world. It takes 15 seconds with just an email address and a password. I'm not lying there. Just use that link down below and you'll get a 15% trading fee discount. Guys, you get on a good exchange. You deserve to be on one. Exchanges are being, paid millions of dollars in fees per day, and you're trusting them to keep your money safe. So you better be on a good one, right? That's why I've chosen Bitfinex and BitGet. If you're not from the USA, you can choose BitGet if you want. Again, top 5 trading volume, very few liquidity issues. Links are down below for 15% trading fee discounts. The last thing I will mention here is the VIP group I have on Telegram. I post altcoin trading signals 4 times a week. And you can get membership there up until May 2025. The last few months of membership are available right now for $175 US. You can get access to a group chat as well, and you can check out our historical track record. I am very transparent with our wins and losses in the past, and they're very, very good in my opinion. So check it out if you're interested. Thank you for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed. I'll catch you soon.